Welcome to US Immigrant Journey, Opportunities and Challenges.
Hello and welcome to US Immigrant Journey, Opportunities and Challenges with attorney Edwin Fogam. Attorney Edwin Fogam brings over 25 years of experience in US immigration law, advising both foreign nationals and the companies that hire them. I'm Kevin Rosenquist, and today we're breaking down priority dates and the Visa Bulletin. This is everything that you need to know about these topics. So Edwin, welcome back. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's been a while.
What do they mean when they say priority date in U.S. immigration?
Well, simply stated, priority dates are actually the dates on which the USCIS actually received and confirmed that your petition has been received.
Why does that priority date matter so much for people applying through family or employment-based categories?
They matter so much because the priority date governs your time to file for adjustment of status, which is the next step after a petition is approved. Say an I-130 petition, after it's approved, if it was not filed concurrently, you have to have your date has to be current. The visa has to be current for you to apply for adjustment of status. Similarly, I-140s for employment-based visas. After approval, you have to file adjustment of status, and the priority dates have to be current according to the Visa Bulletin.
Okay. Every topic we cover, it's just the timing is everything, right?
Yes, timing is so important in immigration. So important.
I'm not even trying to plug your services, but it makes a lot of sense why you need somebody to help you along this journey. I mean, it's really, really complicated, and you have a lot of deadlines.
Yes, we all have too many things to do. Why do you want to take something else and keeping it track when you have somebody to help you do it? I will not do that.
Nor would I.
Somebody take away that headache from me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I'm someone who likes to bring in the experts. I don't like to, if I don't know anything about something, I'm like, I think I'd rather bring in someone who knows what they're doing. What is the Visa Bulletin and who publishes it?
Well, the Visa Bulletin is published by the State Department of State every month. And it contains those priority dates we just talked about. It gives different categories. They call them preference categories, both family-based and employment-based. And it states what categories are available and where the visas are for each category. It can be a little bit confusing if you don't know what you're looking at, but it's almost there, almost always there. And you can tell by looking at the visa priority date and the type of visa, you can tell whether it is current or not.
Okay. And why did some people end up having to wait years or long, for their green cards, even if their petitions are approved?
Well, because of this priority date, and because visas have what they call preference categories, right? You have first preference, second preference, third preference, and even fourth preference categories, and different the number of visas that are issued for each category is different depending on where they are. And then once those visas are issued, they are used gradually by those whose priority dates were current. And once they are exhausted, if you had a petition that was approved and the visas for that category is not available, you will have to wait until the next set of visas are issued for that category, and your priority date will become current.
Okay.
Yes.
Edwin, this is so confusing to me.
Yeah. Well, sometimes we have to review it again to remember, right?
Yeah. All of these processes are just they just seem so complicated. Is some of it needlessly complicated in your opinion?
Yeah, I think so, but not, again, sometimes you see reasons for them because there are so many moving parts. And if these things are not kept very clear, if they are not kept in a way that people can follow, then it can be confusing. But again, that's a challenge.
I've heard a term visa retrogression. What is that and how does it affect pending green card cases?
Oh, yeah, this is a strange situation where even though your priority date becomes current, but the numbers of applicants and visas in that category become so many that you have to go back a little bit, right? You thought, okay, my visa is current, but more petitioners or applicants applied before your time came up, and then your visa retrogress, your visa category or priority date retrogress a little bit. It's usually not too bad.
Okay.
It doesn't go very far, but again, it could be disappointing if and when that happens.
Could be disappointing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Are people still allowed to work or even live legally in the US while waiting for their priority date to become current?
it depends. It depends. There are many ways to look at that. If you generally, if you don't have any other non-immigrant status that permits you to work, then you can't. But there are some situations where you can be working legally. For example, H-1Bs. H-1Bs, if you are a valid non-immigrant H-1B and you have an approved I-140 petition, employment-based, let's say EB2, and you have a priority date in 1 year, and your H-1B is 3 years, you can work until your priority date becomes current. Also, you can have an F1 student who is permitted to work or optional practical training. While they are working on that, they could wait for their priority dates while still in the United States. You cannot file your adjustment of status when your priority date is not current. So one way where people could actually work while waiting for their green cards is adjustment of status. Unfortunately, if your priority date is not current, you cannot really file that application.
How long can it take sometimes to hit your priority date?
Oh, it depends on the category. It depends. The first preference, there is one category that there is even no priority date, like immediate relatives, right? Spouses, parents, and children of US citizens. There is no priority date. The visas are always available. So, and if you file a petition for immediate relative, once you file it, you can file for adjustment of status immediately. However, when you come to employment based like EB1, EB1 doesn't have priority date as well. EB1 is extraordinary ability, no priority date. You go to EB2, employment based, EB3, employment based, priority dates could be 1-2 years. Family based, 2, 3, 4, priority dates could be long. For family based, there are even some priority dates that can be as long as 10 years.
Jeez.
Waiting time for, let's say, fourth preference. Siblings of US citizens, for example, have a priority date that could be about 10 years to wait time.
Why is that so long?
Because the visas that are issued for that category they have been exhausted over the years. So each time the visas are being issued, there are already people waiting. Mm-hmm. So you can imagine that for the past how many years, 10 years or so, people have been waiting for visas. And once the visas come out, they are exhausted. So the next set of people who have been waiting comes up. And once the visas come out, they are exhausted because they don't issue, the State Department doesn't issue a lot of visas for that category. The further it goes away from US citizen immediate relative, the fewer the visas that are being issued.
10 years.
Yeah. But strangely, I've had clients from Nigeria and some countries who filed for their siblings more than 10 years ago, and they are coming in. I've clients brothers filed for their siblings who at the age of 25, and they're coming in here at 40, 45 as permanent residents.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you can get there. It just takes a while.
Yeah.
How do you help your clients track the Visa Bulletin and kind of understand what it means for their case?
Yeah, we have to look at it and sometimes interpret it based on the category. I mean, I've had some sophisticated clients, you send them a copy, but it's still a little tricky, especially if you mix up the employment-based category and the family-based. And then now there is something strange that the Visa Bulletin does now. They tell you when is the current priority date and when is the applicable priority date, which is really confusing.
Yeah,
but
I'm already confused.
All it simply means is that when the visas were actually issued and when you have to really apply, which is a little bit different. But yeah, we interpret it, we look at it, and we tell our clients precisely whether they dates are current or not, and then we can send them the visa bulletin, a copy, to if they could look at it and understand as well.
Mm-hmm. Are there ways to preserve or recapture an earlier priority date if someone switches employers or categories?
Yes, yes, there is. Fortunately, so it's not very often it happens, but if your I-140, for example, had been approved and something happens, yes, you can recapture that. It's just you just have to follow the right process and provide the necessary information to USCIS, and you can do that. Yes.
What kind of information are they looking for?
Well, first they want to know whether you're transitioning to a valid employer, right? From the previous who petitioned, for example, I-140, who filed the original petition, and where you are moving to, and whether you still qualify, and some other just yes present status and other things like that.
Okay. And does that always work or not necessarily?
Not it doesn't always work.
Okay.
But general, it's first of all, it's a rare occurrence in any way, any case. It doesn't happen very often, but when it does and you do it properly, you could. First of all, it's a sympathetic situation sometimes, so
Mm-hmm.
you could work with that.
What are your tips for clients that are going through this? Because it feels really difficult you're trying to plan your lives, your job, your family, travel. You can't plan anything because you're waiting on this priority date. How do you help?
As you say, it's quite challenging and demanding, but I think the most important thing you have to be informed, to know very well where your case is, what are the next steps, and what to expect. Then you can plan properly, right? For example, if let's take a family, you filed an I-140 petition, your family, your wife and family are still going to school, they're still back home. You are here on H-1B working. Now you don't want to just have move them here because you can work on H-1B when it's just about 1 or 2 years to go, and your I-140 has been approved and your priority date is about 2 years ahead. You may have a problem there because they could actually come here on H4 and be
Mm.
working, but then if the priority date on your I-140 doesn't come up and be current while you are still on H1B, then your kids may be leaving school and going back because they cannot stay in a valid legal status.
Mhm.
So sometimes you have to look at it's a case by case. You look at the family, what or the individual, what they want. Some are students who are in programs and they have EB2, employment based approved, but they have a priority date, may say a year. The question becomes, are you going to go into another program, another non-immigrant program in the United States? Or you want to go back and wait for that 1 year and come in under consular processing? So everything requires some information and strategic planning.
Yeah, the strategy side is interesting to me because that is one of the things like, I think you would think you could do this on your own and get, file the paperwork and do all that, but there really is like a strategy to each one of these.
Yes, until you get to a little something that is challenging, you would think it's just. And then the strange thing is, you go to USCIS website, they'll give you all this information, file this, file this, file this, file this, and it appears that it's just all you do,
Right. It's
right?
like straightforward. Yeah.
But once you start receiving requests for evidence and clarifications and things like that, then it becomes a little cumbersome.
How can people educate themselves better on how this all works?
I think one of the best consultations are very helpful. Strategy sessions, for example, you talk with an immigration attorney 1 hour. It could give you clear directions and explanation about what to expect, how your case would probably go. That is helpful. You could also read on USCIS website. That will give you some information. It may not give you the wrinkles and some of the whole tricky aspects, but general information may help you a little bit.
At least to be somewhat informed going in, like even before they come talk to someone like you, it feels like it'd be good to at least have the basics down.
Yes. That would be helpful. But as you know, clients, the sophistication of clients differ, right? There's a whole range of different clients. Some clients come well cool in that they've read, they've done their homework, they know every aspect of it. All they need is legal guidance and some other strategic things. Others, especially employers, they are busy. They don't have time to go read US. They need to know what I need to do, when I need to do it, how, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that's it. So yeah.
And that's where Edwin comes in.
Yes, that's where we come in. You're right.
All right. Well, this Visa Bulletin thing, it can look like alphabet soup, but it's the key to unlocking your green card. Whether you're an employer or an immigrant waiting your turn, Edwin Fogam can help you understand what's next. Visit fogamlaw.com to schedule a consultation. Thanks for listening to today's episode, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Leave us a review. We really appreciate it. Edwin, I always appreciate your time and your explaining. You do a really good job of explaining things to me, and I appreciate it. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review in the comments.